Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kyle. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I just wanted to do an update really on what's been going on and what I've been dealing with and what I've been figuring out and how life has been going. So for the past 3 weeks now, I've been dealing with a headache, and I'm kind of on the tail end of it, but I still wanted to make a video about the process of going through it and what I was feeling and what I was experiencing and how I think I came to have this headache. So I had a headache for about 2 weeks. At the beginning of the headache, my intuition told me that the headache was a physical manifestation of the pressure that I was putting on myself. Like I was just feeling pressure inside of my head that was represented for the pressure that I'm putting myself going through my healing journey. And then maybe about 4 or 5 days into the headache, I was starting to question again, like, what's going on? Like, why is this lasting so long? What's happening here? And then I realized that it was a symptom of a major depression that I was kind of going through. So there were a few things that led me to this conclusion rather than thinking that it was like something's wrong with me or that I have like a brain tumor or something ridiculous, and kind of knowing what my body was trying to tell me. So over these past few months, things for me have been happening very quickly. I've been processing a lot, sifting through a lot of my traumas that I have let go unnoticed in the past before, and just kind of evolving and changing and growing super quickly over the past few months. I would not say that I'm anywhere near remotely the same person now in May of 2021 that I was at the beginning of the year in January. So I've been going through a lot, doing a lot of analyzing and processing and releasing, and I kind of reached this point, which is when this headache started to happen. I've been so focused on healing and growing and changing and learning and shedding my old self, and I didn't really give myself a break or time to allow myself to be this new person that I want to be and that I am becoming. So the symptoms of this headache, when it began, it was just pressure, very general all around my head. There wasn't exactly a spot where you could pinpoint it like, oh, the left side or the right side. It kind of was just everywhere. And as this headache continued over the many days that it was there, I realized that I was at the same time very depressed. And for me, depression looks like more of a flatness, not really experiencing any emotions, not necessarily sad, but there's no real energy flowing inside of me. When I experience depression, I feel very numb, I feel very disconnected. I find it hard to lean into either happiness or sadness. It's kind of this weird state where I'm not looking forward to the next day and I just want this day to end so that way hopefully the next day is better and I feel more alive in some type of way. So the presence of this headache was not helping that depression. It was making it worse because I was focusing all of my time and energy like thinking about this headache and hoping it would go away and wishing it would go away and just wanting to feel better. So a few things told me that this headache was related to the depression that I was going through. One of them is that I've struggled with anxiety in the past, and I have like physical manifestations of my anxiety every now and then, to where I'll have random pains in my body, or a certain area of my body will be in pain for like a week or so. And so it's not surprising to me that my depression could also manifest itself in a physical way. I also believe that this whole depression experience was the result of healing burnout. So I think burnout is being talked about a little bit more in regards to work, and when you're overworked, you're overstressed, and you kind of just you fall out of what you're doing and you just kind of completely crumble. And that's what I feel like was happening to me. I had been so focused on healing and so focused on my journey and so focused on digging up old traumas and having so many experiences and so much new connection that I kind of got burned out on it. And this depression was a result of that burnout. And this headache was a way of my body telling me that I needed to stop, I needed to slow down, I just needed to take a break from what I was doing because I wasn't going to be able to last. So I'm kind of at the tail end of this headache. Like, I still have moments when I'm like kind of feeling it or thinking that it's there. But for the most part, my day-to-day is back to like normal. But I'm able to look back on it already and know that it was a message from my body. And also it's highlighting the fact that I want to be more in touch with my body and listen to the signs that my body is telling me when it needs me to stop and slow down and just take a breather and not put all of my time and energy into healing myself. The whole experience of healing is very new for everyone, I think, and there's like lots of graphics and great information out there, but the process is only talked about on a personal level. It's not really taught, and we don't really grow up learning any of these healing ideas. So for us to be putting ourselves through these processes without any guidance generally, it can be a lot. So right now I'm really just searching for embodiment practices in order to help me reconnect to my body, which I think is something that I've spoken about before. But just kind of getting out of the mind, getting out of that headache space and back into the body and communicating with myself on a more intuitive level. So those embodiment practices are things that involve self-forgiveness, self-compassion, and self-love, which are all things that I know. But knowing self-love and knowing compassion for yourself and actually doing it and doing practices that enhance those qualities in yourself are two different things. So I'm just starting to come into a space where I'm actually applying that knowledge that I already have onto myself, so that way I can truly slow down and help myself integrate into this new season of my life after this major transition. So I'm really just using this time as an opportunity for myself to again build my foundation, remember who I am and what I stand for, and take my time, be patient with myself, and start actually doing practices that serve me best in these moments. I also wanted to talk about love and the power of love for a second in relation to this transitional period in my life. I do find myself having many moments of anxiety when I think about the power of love, because I was kind of trapped in this depressive state for a few weeks and was very distant from love. And I think something that isn't really communicated is that the power of love is very overwhelming, just as the power of fear is very overwhelming. So yes, it feels better to be living a life in love and to be existing around love, but to get into that space is kind of difficult sometimes. Sometimes when I feel love so intensely, my body shakes, I get scared because it's such a powerful feeling and it feels so overwhelming. But I also in those moments remind myself, like, it's okay, like, this is the good feeling, this is the feeling that we want to be living our life in, this is the feeling that keeps us safe. So it's interesting how similar it is to fear in that regard, in that it is completely overwhelming, but it's the exact opposite in that it's overwhelmingly good, overwhelmingly safe. I think in our culture we're so used to living in fear, and our actions are so fear-based, that moving into love-based actions and love-based thought processes can be very intimidating and almost not feel right. And I think that's kind of why we don't see people living in love as often as we see people living in fear. Because it's scary and it's overwhelming and it is a lot when that's not what we're taught. But yeah, I miss being myself. I miss living my life full of love and existing for myself and living for myself. I know that my entire world revolves around the love that exists inside of me, and that when I focus on that love, all of these extra layers, all of these extra conditions that are placed upon me and that I place upon myself just fall away. When we rely on that love and when we focus on that love, things just kind of flutter off of us. So many things that we think of as like time sensitive or high priority just fall to the wayside once we know that we can be safe and at home when we're connected to ourselves. Another thing that I want to focus on doing right now is just rediscovering the joys in all of the little things that happen to me throughout my day and all the small details of my life. I made that whole video, like 30 minutes worth of me talking about my trauma, but then I'm wondering, where's the 30 minutes of me reminiscing about all of the amazing things that have happened to me in my life? Where's that balance? Where's that speech of empowerment that I'm giving myself? Where is that? I need to be doing that on a daily basis alongside these talks about dealing with trauma. So again, just falling back into that bliss of being alive and knowing that I am going through everything that I need to go through in order to be at the place that I want to be and to be the person that I want to be. So yeah, during that depressive episode, I didn't make a video that weekend. I allowed myself to just break away, even though that was kind of like a deep commitment for me for this YouTube channel, is to put out a video every week. I knew that the video, whatever video I might have made during that time, just would not have been anywhere helpful to my journey. And so being able to recognize when you need to take a step back, when you need to slow down, when you need to connect more with your community, with your friends, with your family, and just try something different is just such a skillful tool to have. Right now, I'm also just wanting a lot more connection. I just want to be around friends more, whereas before I was feeling such intense calls to solitude and being alone. Now it's like, I just want to spend the night with friends. I want to be surrounded by friends all the time. I want to be constantly talking to people and connecting and grounding myself through the energies of other people. Just following that ebb and flow of life. And one moment you're being called to solitude and the next moment you're being called to community, and connecting with yourself in order to recognize that call because it's for our highest good. And knowing that your highest good is going to be fulfilled when you're listening to your body. I have to say, it was such a hard time dealing with that headache. The days were super long and I was at points questioning, is this ever going to end? Am I ever going to feel better from this? And here I am, and I am feeling better from this. So again, just whipping out all of those tools that we have in our kit and tackling these rocky times with all of our power and everything that we have, showing up for ourselves every day in every way that we can, in all of the ways that make us feel the best versions of ourselves. And knowing that the answer is always inside of us and that the answer is always us. We are our own best friends. We are always there to lift ourselves up. We are the ones taking care of ourselves. We are the ones that pull us out of these ruts that we get into. We are the ones that will see ourselves to the other side. I have everything that I am looking for. I am the lover to my loneliness. I am the parent to my child. I am the one taking me out to see the world. I push myself. I make myself grow. I am there to tuck me into bed at night and wake me up in the morning. Falling back into that deep sense of trusting myself and knowing that I am the one who has my own back. And that I've been through this so many times before, and every time it feels harder, but here I am again, always showing up. So I hope this video helps anyone who might be going through a rough time or is on the roller coaster ride of life alongside with me. But yeah, just knowing that we're here and we're in it and we're never gonna give up. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment so that way I can reply back. We are here to remember who we are and to live our lives so fully. Thanks y'all, I'll see you in the next one.